You know the girl that we've been following that's a psychopath, right?
You're going to have to narrow that down, please. I literally don't.
Well, we've been following this one girl that's posting that she's like the psychopath community. I'm a narcissist.
Oh, yeah.
So she's got this TikTok channel being like, I'm a psychopathic narcissist, right?
Right. Who wrote the book?
She
had a book
wrote a book.
about
She has
being
a
a
channel,
psychopath.
her whole thing, and she's kind of like normalizing psychopath. But there's a new rendition that she finally got here. She goes, "Diagnosed psychopath reveals why she was a massive childhood bully who mainly targeted boys." And we've been wondering why, when she's going to get to realizing it was for feminism. But she finally made the connection between being like, I was,
a psychopath for feminism.
She finally made the connection being like, I'm a psychopath for feminism.
There you go.
But obviously being the like psychopath for causes is hilarious. Like Psychopaths for Palestine. You know?
Yeah. Well, you got to normalize it.
Her literal thing is, I'm a psychopath and I'm doing this.
Nothing wrong with it.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just another mental illness.
And also she realizes that the reason she used to torment people wasn't because she's a psychopath. She realized it was because of sexism.
Man, women love normalizing mental illnesses, huh?
It's their new thing for sure. They've definitely really jumped on it recently.
Yep.
She knew how to manipulate others from a young age, and she used this to her advantage to successfully, on various occasions. Still, there was a certain gender microaggression that she couldn't wrap her head around, causing her to adopt misandrous views. I was such a big hater of men. I ruthlessly bullied boys in class. While she wasn't aware of her reasoning doing this as a kid, in hindsight, she recognized that it likely stemmed from her hatred of sexism.
She hated sexism as a 6-year-old.
Well, she didn't know it at the time, but now 30 as a psychopath influencer, she's looking back and realizing that the reason she was doing that was likely because
it's funny that she found a reason for it that is actually okay. She goes, I was actually like doing a good thing. I thought I was a bad person, but
I still am.
Which I still am, but I'm not.
But I'm not.
But I was actually
not. It's complicated.
Yeah, there was like altruistic bullying back then.
That's
like,
what she's
a good person.
Which we did the sketch a while ago.
Yeah.
But she's realizing that now, in hindsight, that the reason she was bullying these guys is for justice.
For justice and for good.
It's probably why. So the new reason just dropped 15 years later of why she was bullying. Vic's experience of being constantly dismissed just because she was a girl is a valid reason to feel resentful towards other boys. And it's an experience many girls can relate to. Rather than conforming to the silent roles she and many other girls have been pushed into, she adopted hypermasculine characteristics and defiantly acted out against other boys. So I like that this is being, it's funny too, because it's being taken at face value. You go, and they realize I do this. You go, aren't you a psychopath though?
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, but this one thing I'm not being a psychopath about.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the boys' take on what happened too.
Well, basically, she's like, actually, I'll just read this one thing. She goes, Vic may have projected her hatred for sexism onto other boys. So they're doing a bit of a diagnosis here.
This is like the internalized misogyny shit, where you go, I think women are bad at sports because of
this is the biggest
misogyny.
rationalization I've ever seen in my
crazy.
life.
This is tying me in the nuts.
I used to have a joke where I said they could rationalize anything. I got in a car accident that was probably for the best. And it was, but harsh and unfair ways. But this doesn't compare to the unfairness young girls and women experience in their daily lives just for being women. So it's basically, to what you said, it's a guy having his face swirled in the toilet, and she's now realizing that 15 years later that this was actually, she was fighting.
But I want to see those guys. The guys are like, that didn't happen. They're like, she was a bitch and we kicked the shit out of her. They're like, we used to throw mud on her.
A third hypothesis, you're saying she wasn't bullying people.
Yeah, I think in her mind she was like, literally like, she was thinking of bullying guys.
Well, in her mind, she was walking around stiff-arming every guy in the classroom.
You ever heard of a girl bullying, like proper bullying boys?
Yeah, I have, yeah. Well, picture this. Picture being like 11 years old.
Yeah.
And picture like a girl who's 11 who basically matured really quick to she looks like she's fucking 15. And then also she's like a gangster.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I went to Jewish school when I was 11. We didn't have that.
Picture like a fucking, like a 17-year-old woman, but she's actually 12.
Okay.
And she's got like a fucking baby blue bandana on.
Lesbian.
Her boyfriend's 25.
Yeah. Oh, not lesbian.
She's strapped up because she's
I didn't go to school in the hood,
she's low-key
Ryan.
Affiliated with like a Latino gang.
Okay. Okay.
She's dealing drugs.
Yeah.
And then
real backstory here. I suppose, yeah.
I don't have a specific one. I'm just saying that I can picture a scenario.
Yeah.
And she's, telling some, boy that's 5 years younger than her.
Sure.
Give me your fucking lunch money. And she's saying it in like a gangster accent too. She's like, she's got like the Toronto accent being like, yo dog, yo for real, fucking give me your lunch money, fam. And she's 13, but she looks like she's 19.
Sure, and she's bullying like an 8-year-old.
She's bullying an 8-year-old, Okay. She's got like a real gangster flair to her.
I guess that's possible.
Yo, dog, honestly, you fucking give me your fries for real still.
She ain't getting my fries. I was thinking more of like a 12-year-old girl bullying a 12-year-old boy, and you're like, that ain't happening.
Do you know the rapper Top 5?
Yeah.
Or producer rapper guy. He did some interview, and there was a girl interviewing. She was asking about Drake, and she was like, what do you think about Kendrick Lamar? And he goes, yo, Kendrick Lamar? Yo, why you ask me about that? Yo, that's disrespectful. Yo, Kendrick Lamar came to Toronto, get sprayed up, eh? And he's doing this whole speech, and then she goes, well, it did become like a big viral hit. And she goes, yo, honestly, I got a girl right there. You don't think she can fucking touch you? And like, she's like telling the interviewer, like, my female friend's gonna kick the shit out of you if you keep... But Kendrick Lamar? Yo, why you fucking bring that name up, yo? Man's come to Toronto to get sprayed. I was fucking dying.
Oh, I love that accent.
I watched that video probably 4 times.
I love that accent, but it is objectively the worst accent.
That's insane.
Face of the earth.
Fucking insane accent. But anyways, I'm picturing a girl that's Toronto, but could be anywhere.
Sure.
But you picture, like a fucking Latino gang member.
Yeah.
That, her brother's in the fucking...
Yeah. Like in the Crips or something.
Yeah. Her brother's in MS-13, and she's at school bullying a guy 3 years younger than him for his fries. So
that's possible.
I'm just saying that was my take on when I'm picturing this girl, real butch with like a bandana on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, but this wasn't this.
She got a tattoo probably already.
This was not an MS-13.
You're right. She's a fucking psycho influencer.
Yeah, exactly. This is the psycho influencer who's making this all up.
Well, that's possible too. Is that none of this happened? I'm not ruling out none of this happened.
Yeah. Like when you ask kids, you go, "Who's the biggest bully in your school?" Because it says this chick says it was her, and they go, "Really?"
Well, then you're adding a second level of craziness where you go, I bullied all these people, and I realized I did it for sexism. You go, you didn't bully anyone. You go, well, if I did, it was for sexism.
Explore. She goes, I had fantasies about bullying,
and that was for sexism.
And I still fantasize about bullying boys, young ones.
That's how much I hate the patriarchy.
I hate the patriarchy.
If anything, Vic and whoever wrote this article is fucking really just belongs in the psycho community also. She goes, if anything, she exhibited an astounding level of emotional intelligence through her understanding of the disparity and refusal to conform to societal gender norms. This is the therapist, where we say the therapist that just tells them whatever they do is amazing.
Yep.
Literally someone goes, I used to like kick the shit out of people when I was in high school. And you go, if anything, that was very emotional intelligent of you to realize that sexism's so bad and you should be beating
up little boys to prepare them to not,
because of the disparities. Also, emotional intelligence is a funny claim to make from someone whose clinical whole deal is I'm a psychopath.
Yeah, she had this. The
emotionally intelligent psychopath is pretty good.
This chick who writes this too has a lot of stuff on the Psychopath.
Oh, she's the #1 psychopath correspondent.
Yeah, she has diagnosed psychopath, reveals what she was like.
She's a bit of Stockholm syndrome. I think she fell in love with this psychopath.
I think so. Yeah, Francesca Duarte, Vic the Path.
I think for what's her name again?
Vic the Path is the TikTok of this psychopath.
That sucked to find out that you were a dude that got bullied by Vic the Path.
270K followers.
I told you, Vic the Path does okay.
And of course, #1 pin thing. You can now book me for advice. Turn your passion into a profession. Your passion of psychopathy.
It's hard to hate on Vic the Path because Vic the Path is doing okay.
Vic the Path is fucking putting in work.
And I think Vic the Path knows who to talk to. They know if I'm talking to this person, related to sexism, if I'm talking to this person related to mental illness.
Of course.
I think Vic the Path knows what she's doing.
Yep.
She's doing okay at fucking turning, the fact that she's a psychopath into a career. It honestly is a classic narcissist move. Yep. So I actually respect her.
And
my beef is not with Vic the Path.
No, top comment. This is cool AF and brilliant monetization on your part.
So they agree with me.
Yeah, they go, way to monetize being a psychopath.
Yeah. I can't hate on the path.
Yeah. All right. Well, Vic the Path. Everybody go check out Vic the Path. She has like some videos of fucking 4 million views.
Hey, Vic the Path is, nothing to shake a stick at, man. She's...
I mean, I'm not going to shake a stick at her because she's going to grab the stick and beat the shit out of me. So
grab the stick.
I will not be shaking any
crack
sticks
it in front of your eyes.
Yeah, she's literally fucking one up the fucking...
Vic the Path is going to grab my hair, put me into a fucking tray of bugs, just fucking eat up.
Yeah, she's going to turn me into a fucking popsicle stick with that stick.
Force you to eat worms.